What's up, guys? It's Archer here, and I'm finally back after what seemed to be the longest semester I've ever had. But school is done, Christmas break is here, and I am back to recording. It feels so good to be back. Um, Unfortunately, a few things have gone a little bit wrong with this save. If I go back to the Division series, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So if you remember where we left off before I went back off to college, we had this went pretty much the same against the Indians. We went through to the league championship series. Everything was very exciting. Um, but we also had the Boston Red Sox come back from a 2-1 deficit to beat the Houston Astros. That has not happened in this alternate universe because for whatever reason the save file got corrupted and I had to revert to an earlier version. So now the Houston Astros are in the league championship series, and on the other side, the Pittsburgh Pirates had to come back from a 2-0 deficit against the Dodgers, and they also didn't do that in this alternate reality. So the way the things stand, slightly different, not too far off though. So Dodgers leading the Mets, looking to go into the World Series, and us 3-1 back to the Houston Astros. I can't exactly remember where we were with the Boston Red Sox. I want to say that we were actually 2-0 up after the first two games, and then maybe we lost two straight, and so we were kind of even 2-all. But I've just tried to bring us to the same point as much as possible. So we have this game against Houston, which is actually on the next day. I didn't bring it quite far enough, but huge game. Kyle Wright on the mound. He's going to be going up against Francis Martes of the Houston Astros. I figure even though things are a little bit different, you guys probably still want to watch us. It seems like get bounced from the playoffs, unfortunately. And just when I came back to this team, just familiarizing myself with it a little bit, I was kind of shocked that we had gotten this far because our pitching staff seems pretty good, but it doesn't seem amazing. Like, it seems about bog standard. Our bullpen seems very good, but our offense seems a little shaky at parts. I know we have some standouts like Olivares, Mazzara, Tellez, and Ely. Chapman seems pretty decent, but after that it kind of falls off a little bit. So I'm guessing that we're just very good on defense, and so that's kind of why we've made it this far. But this is not the type of team that I would have expected to get to a World Series. I think it needs a little bit more strength and depth, and maybe one more pitcher, because as good as Whitley seems to have been, he doesn't exactly seem like somebody you want to be starting in a playoff, especially with everything on the line. I don't know, that was just my initial thought on coming back to everything. That being said, let's get right into this game against Houston. I'm not super familiar with how all the teams are set up in this, so I'm just going to go through this both for you and for myself. So they still have Altuve. So Altuve, Correa, Yordan Alvarez, who is probably going to be amazing in real life, and also they have Kyle Tucker, who is very good. So those are their two top prospects in real life, so that doesn't surprise me other than Whitley. George Springer, Derek Fisher, who I believe is not as fast in this as he is in real life. Yeah, that's correct. Alex Bregman, Yulieski Gurriel, and Thomas Naida, who I believe is with the Mets in real life. Yeah, he's in the Mets minor league system. We actually traded for him. I had totally forgotten about that, and now he's with Houston. That's kind of cool. And then we have Ely, Tellez, Olivares, Mazzara, Chapman, Chong-Yi Zhao, Sean Murphy, Andrelton Simmons, and still Jason Guzman. For whatever reason, it happened that our starting second baseman, Joe Panic, he came back one day later in this save, and so he wasn't eligible to come onto this playoff roster, and now I can't make the move in the beginning of the series. Jason Guzman is still going to be our starting second baseman. Also, we had an injury to one of our outfielders, so that's why Chong-Yi Zhao is starting there. Still almost positive I'm pronouncing that name wrong, even after all the time away. Kyle Wright's going to be on the mound for us. And if I remember anything about his playoffs, yeah, he maybe was not the best. Can't say for certain. Know that he wasn't good against Houston this year. So I have to remember that I have the warm-up rule on for right now at least. And I also want to see how quick my play-by-play speed is. Let's move that to very fast. Okay. That feels like a lot of exposition, but we're finally into this game. Francis Martes squaring off against Jerry and Ely. Let's just see how the first at-bat of this game goes. And that's going to be a single. Jerry and Ely getting off to a good start. Jerry and Ely, what a playoff hero, man. That's one thing that I definitely remember. My goodness. He's great. Rowdy Tellez, he's going to get a wild pitch. That brings Ely over to second. And then we have Tellez going up again. This is going to be possibly a sac fly if Ely can get back. Probably just not quite deep enough. So he's going to just stay at second base for Edward Olivares. Edward Olivares, what an absolute incredible piece of this team. And he cracks one into left center. That's 420 feet. Kansas City leads 2-0. Thank you very much. Welcome back to me. That's gone better than I could have expected. So Francis Martes has now given up 2 runs, and his playoff record looking real bad. Nomar Mazara up at the plate against him. This one pretty deep, but probably not far enough to get out of in the outfield. And that's going to be George Springer mopping it up. Martes gets another out. And with Matt Chapman striking out, that's going to get him out of the inning and down to the Houston side of things. Kyle Wright, yeah, I was a little bit wrong about you. You've been doing pretty well. So Jose Altuve up to face him. Altuve smacks one into the left center gap. I'm a bit rusty on my baseball commentary, but hopefully it is okay. Carlos Correa up to face Kyle Wright now. Altuve on second. Correa, this one into right field. Looks like it's going to be dealt with by the right fielder. Altuve tagging up. This one is deep enough for him to go to third, unlike that ball out in right for Ely in the first top of the inning. Yordan Alvarez now up. Really incredible against right-handed pitchers especially. Altuve on third. Houston threatening. Kyle Wright fans him. And that is a clutch out for him. Now just needs anything to get Kyle Tucker off the board and to clean the slate for him. Looks like he's going to get it. Excellent play, looked like by Tellez. Just catching that in his hip pocket. And that is going to bring us through to the second inning. Francis Martes up to face Zhao. And he's going to strike out. Excellent. Sean Murphy can't do much better. Martes suddenly looking like he is on a roll. Andrelton Simmons, this one just goes to the second baseman to first, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So a much different second inning for Kansas City than the first, and now Kyle Wright back on the mound, attempting to keep Houston off the board. Strikes out George Springer for a good start. Now to face Derek Fisher. Fisher, this one to the second baseman, to the first, and that will be the second out of the inning. Jason Guzman, one thing about him, he is very good defensively, as Bregman strikes out, and that will be the third strikeout for Wright on the night as we move into the third inning. Jason Guzman, although good defensively, somewhat useless with the bat, and he shows it there. Grounding out to the first baseman, and that'll flip the lineup. Jerry and Ely, he is going to hit this one to the shortstop, and that is going to be an out, which will bring up Rowdy Tellez. 2 outs now for Francis Martes. He seems to have settled down a little bit. And that's going to be another out. That one straight to Yordan Alvarez. And that will move us into the bottom of the third. Kyle Wright back on the mound to face Yulieski Gurriel, Thomas Nitto, and Altuve at least. This one into center field. Looks like it will be dealt with by Ely. Effortless range out there for him. And now Thomas Nitto, former Kansas City Royals player, actually, as we mentioned before, squares up, and that one is going to be a foul catch. looks like by Matt Chapman. There it is. And Jose Altuve up to take a second crack at it, and he will strike out right with his 4th strikeout of the night. And the score remains 2-0 Kansas City. Only 3 total hits in this game as Francis Martes looks to take on Edward Olivares. Olivares to the third baseman, to Rowdy Tellez, to Yordan Alvarez. Definitely going to mix that up more than once. And that is going to be the first out of the inning. Nomar Mazara, that is a loud crack off the bat. This one is deep, and it is gone. 378 feet, 3-0 Kansas City. And chances looking a little bit better for dragging this one back towards 3-2 and a bit more manageable, as Martes seems to be still struggling despite a little bit better patch. This one is pretty deep. Looks like it's going to be caught right at the wall, though, unfortunately, by Kyle Tucker. Still looking like trouble, though, for Francis Martes as Xiangyi Zhao comes up. And that is going to be into right field, a single for Zhao. And Sean Murphy will step up to try and extend this inning. He will not do so. Do add to our lead and get some nice hits off of Martes, some good contact. So some good signs, but only 1 run scored in the inning, as right now has to face Correa, Alvarez, and Tucker, the real meat of this Houston lineup. Correa looks like he is going to fly out into right field. If Olivares can get it, he can. And Yordan Alvarez will face Kyle Wright. That's going to be a walk for Kyle Wright. His command is the weakest part of his game, so you would expect that to be the thing that hurts him. Kyle Tucker now up at the plate, and that is pretty poor from Kyle Wright. So 2 men on. George Springer at the plate. Kyle Wright needs 2 to get out of this inning, and he gets the first there. Strike 3 called on the changeup. Kyle Wright, 5 strikeouts through 3 2/3 innings so far. Definitely has the strikeout stuff going. Derek Fisher now. He's going to attempt to get a run on the board for Houston. Doesn't look like he's going to do it, though. Right to Tellez, and that will be the inning. Top of the 5th now. Francis Martes to face Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton Simmons, probably one of my proudest signings from this series. He is going to fly out into left, though. Jason Guzman, now up at the plate once again. He's going to strike out. Not a great inning for us so far. Jerry and Ely coming up with the bases empty once again, and he's going to strike out. So score remains unchanged as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Right on 53 pitches, probably doesn't need to be watched just yet. Alex Bregman going to walk, though, and that will certainly extend things for him as Yulieski Gurriel comes up. Gurriel strikes out, though, and that'll bring up Thomas Nitto again. That into center field. Jerry and Ely looks like he's going to deal with it easily. And that will be 2 outs in the inning, 1 man on. Jose Altuve up at the plate. Weakly hit into center field. Ely comes charging in, and he will deal with it. That'll be the inning over. Into the 6th inning. Kyle Wright absolutely rolling, only 1 hit allowed. A couple of walks here and there, but nothing too damaging. Meanwhile, Francis Martes, obviously not rolling, although he does have 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. He'll face Tellez, Olivares, and Mazara. Tellez first, though, and this one is going to be roped into right field. That is going to be a solid hit for him. And the pain continues for Francis Martes. Edward Olivares now up, and Olivares strikes out with Tellez on first. Mazara now to take on Martes, and he will also strike out. So Martes really getting himself out of some of these jams with just strikeout upon strikeout. Matt Chapman to face now. Chapman just going to pop this one into the infield. Looks like it's going to be dealt with by the third baseman Bregman. It will. So quiet inning there again for Kansas City. That's 2 straight now, despite some good contact. And Kyle Wright on 66 pitches will now face Correa, Alvarez, and Tucker again. And he walks his first man. So that'll be Correa on board for both Alvarez and Tucker. And this could be a double play, though. If it's just quick enough, it's not quite. So fielder's choice puts Alvarez on first. Probably the preferable scenario there. And Kyle Wright will take on his fellow Kyle. This one into center field. Again, looks like Ely's going to mop that one up. And he will. So, really anything hit to center field. Pretty easy commentary on my part. George Springer now to hit this one at the second baseman, Jason Guzman. He's going to try and take it himself, and he does. That didn't look like he quite got there, but he did. And that'll be the inning for Houston. Top of the seventh now, Ryan Presley to come in. Presley, of course, also moved to Houston in real life, so that's interesting to see. But he'll take on Zhao and Murphy and Simmons. I feel like I pronounce his name differently every time. Zhao, this one long and into left field, just at the wall, though. Kyle Tucker makes the play, and Sean Murphy now up to face Murphy to the first baseman. That should be easily dealt with, and it is. And now 2 outs in this inning for Ryan Presley, who has at least kept things pretty quiet. Andrelton Simmons now. This one's going to be dealt with, looks like by Correa maybe? It will. And we have the 7th inning stretch. And now the bottom of the 7th. So 88 pitches for Kyle Wright. Going to start monitoring him. Maybe look to take him out for the 8th and the 9th. In a very traditional way. This one is going to be roped into left field, though. And that is not a great start for his inning. The first real danger he's had on the night in terms of hitting. Derek Fisher with a double into left. And probably time to start somebody warming up with 94 pitches on the board. And my gut instinct with some righties up is to bring in Murdoch Blagden and get him warming up. Kyle Wright is going to give up another hit. This would be the first run for the game for Houston. It's going to be another double. Sliding into second base is Bregman, just about getting it. And all of a sudden, things looking pretty shaky for Kyle Wright. Unfortunately, Blagden's still cold, because that at-bat did not take any time at all. So we're just going to try and maybe pitch around Yulieski Gurriel. And we got him to strike out. I was just hoping to get a walk at worst, really. Looks like Thomas Nitto going to have to be faced by Kyle Wright because Blagden's still warming. I'm still trusting Kyle a little bit here. Also going to pitch around him, though. Maybe get some more pitches in and more time in for Blagden to warm up. That will be the walk. Doesn't really matter at this point because all you need is the force anyway. So at this point, though, Blagden, I don't care if he's still warming. He's got to come in, and he will face Jose Altuve. So high-pressure situation for the youngster. We say youngster. He's 25 now. But kind of our star prospect who has been very good in these playoffs, at least when I was playing it. That's what I remember. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to give up a run here. So now we're 3-2. And in a game that looked like it was all but put away, things are looking pretty ropey now as Blagden faces Carlos Correa. And he's going to walk him, bases loaded. Definitely should have had somebody warming up while that was happening. That is my bad. Let's get Lovelady just in case. But really, if another run comes in, things are kind of out of hand. We do get the force out at home. Trying to get the double play at first. Can't get it. Altuve goes to third, Correa goes to second, and Alvarez at first now for Kyle Tucker. Just 1 out needed. Although Lovelady is just about there, I think we're just going to throw him in. Because lefty on lefty, Kyle Tucker not as dangerous, and we obviously know how good Richard Lovelady is. Let's see if he can get a really clutch out for us here in the 7th. He can! Strike 3. And that will do it for Houston that inning. Some real danger in that one. But we made it through. And now Ryan Presley to face Jason Guzman. Surprised he's in for another inning. But I will take it. Guzman, though, not able to get anything. And now Jaron Ely up at the plate to face Ryan Presley. Ely into center field. Diving catch. What an excellent catch by Derek Fisher there. And 2 outs now for Ryan Presley. Rowdy Tellez now up at the plate. Tellez, drop baby. Oh man, how did he catch that? Springer diving catch, and that will keep men off the board for us there. 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 8th. And unfortunately, Castro, I simulated the last game. He threw 52 pitches yesterday, which is just ridiculous. So, let's see. Probably, I'm going to get Liam Hendricks and Justin Lawrence. Davey Mendez both warm. Is that right? No. I don't want Davey Mendez. I want Justin Lawrence. Yeah, there we go. So, Lovelady, though. Obviously one of my favorite players to face George Springer here in a big moment. Strikes him out. And now up against Derek Fisher. Strikes him out. What a great player Richard Lovelady is for us. And now he faces Alex Bregman to put the 8th away. I think he's going to do it. That looks like it's out to Ely, and that's going to be caught by him. And the inning will be over. So now, top of the 9th. Blake Trinan coming in, trying to keep things close for Houston as they try to mount a comeback. Olivares sneaks this one over Correa, and that is going to be a single for him. Not easy to do against Trinan. Nomar Mazara now to face. This one at the second baseman looks like it's going to be a double play. It will, unfortunately. So Trinan gets a couple of easy outs, and now Chapman to face. Chapman strikes out, and that will be it. As we try to close it out here. Lovelady only on 17 pitches. Going to trust him for at least one batter. Gurriel. He's going to strike out. Lovelady now, I believe, with 5 straight outs for us. Thomas Nido now up in a huge spot. Lovelady gonna give up a hit. So that's a bit unfortunate. Jose Altuve now. He's going to be facing Jose Altuve. Excuse me. I'm going to put in Liam Hendricks. I have no idea what I just said. I think I said Thomas Nido is going to face Jose Altuve. Liam Hendricks is going to face Jose Altuve. And hopefully he can settle things down for us. This into left field. Doesn't look like Shao's going to get there. He doesn't. And now we have a bit of a difficult situation on our hands. Maybe should have trusted Lovelady. Was worried about his pitch count, though. Hendricks has been solid for us. He faces Correa. This into center field. That's a hit. And things are going very poorly for us in these last couple of innings. I'm going to put in Justin Lawrence. It's not ideal. But just feel like I have to get another pitcher in there. Only 1 out, bases loaded. And he strikes him out. That is so huge. Oh, the pressure is mounting. Remember, this could be us going home if we don't win this game. Justin Lawrence, Kyle Tucker. If I'm smart here, I need to really get another pitcher up in the bullpen. I guess it'll be Davey Mendez. Kyle Tucker, Justin Lawrence. Who's it going to be? It looks like it's going to be an out to center field. Ely's going to deal with it, hopefully. And he does, gets us out of there. Who else? Jerry and Ely, clutch in center field. We take one. It seemed like it should have been an easy win for us. Got pretty difficult there at the end. And here we are, down 3-2. And we did that a couple of times. Leave them loaded, that achievement. That was really, really tense. So, all right. Very next game, Sentad Janbua versus Justice Sheffield. I think I'm going to leave that matchup like that. Let's get right into it. We have to move it 1 day forward, 2 days forward, and then we can play this game. All right, and now we are back for this game against Houston. Jeremiah Jackson coming in for Houston. He's one of their young prospects because Correa is DHing. So I can't really tell what change to the lineup that means. Derek Fisher in center, Tucker. So that outfield is unchanged. Obviously the infield has changed. So it looks like whoever was in that DH spot, they've just pushed him out. Fine by me. Our lineup is unchanged going up against the lefty. We've got Justice Sheffield on the mound. Hopefully Sheffy can bring it back for us. Once again, have the warm-up rule on, which I have to remember. I don't usually use that when I am just playing on my own, so bit of a strategy thing for me to think about. Justice Sheffield, so excellent for us during the season. Let's see if he can do it for us here on the biggest of stages. We're back in Kauffman Stadium. That is going to be Jeremiah Jackson into left field, though, and not a great start there for Justice Sheffield. He'll face Yordan Alvarez now. And that looks like it could be 2-0, an error. And that's going to be charged to Sheffield. Apparently not a very good throw. And that is pretty costly as we now have 2 on. And now the bases will be loaded in the very first inning. Which I have to say is pretty much the opposite of how I wanted it to go. Good grief. All right, Carlos Correa up. Sheffield looks like he's going to get an out, but maybe also have a run come in. Olivares, the throw. Is it in time? It is. What an excellent throw by him. And we get 2 outs, and Sheffield needs to go out and give him a hug as he now faces Kyle Tucker. Tucker into center field. I don't think that's going to be there for anyone to catch, and that's going to be 2 in the very first inning. Houston, you copying us much? Jose Altuve, wild pitch. Man, Sheffield is not looking good at all. 24 pitches. He's getting booed. Not sure you can hear that, but that's what the game sound is telling me as he does manage to get out of there. All right, well, let's try and grab something back, I guess. Jerry Neely to take on Zhang Yizhao. And he will not get a hit. That's going to be Springer back to catch. Good play by him. Zhao second in the lineup. And he is going to, unfortunately, fly out in foul territory. And I have to say, their lefty is looking a lot better than ours. Nomar Mazara up. Mazara, no, that's going to be dealt with. No, it's not. A little bit of confusion there by Altuve and Jackson about who was supposed to get to that. Neither one of them does. And we are a bit fortunate there. Looked like that could have been charged as an error. Olivares up now. He's going to get walked. And all of a sudden we have 2 on for Tellez. Not as good against lefties, but can still do the business. Unfortunately, he is going to ground out to the shortstop, Jeremiah Jackson. And that is going to do it for us in that first inning. Justice Sheffield now to face Derek Fisher. Fisher to Sheffield to Tellez. That'll do it. And hopefully he can settle down. Not going to give us as many innings today, it doesn't look like. But hopefully he can keep it at 2 as he gets the second out of the inning against Alcs Bregman. Thomas Nido now going to get a walk. Command just not there for Sheffield at all, as he does get Jeremiah Jackson a strikeout. So, as things stand, down 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Matt Chapman, Sean Murphy, and Andrelton Simmons up. Matt Chapman, this one is going to be a fly out to the infield. That's not going to do anything for us. Sean Murphy now looks like he's going to smack this one to the shortstop, but it is not going to be enough. And that is going to be 2 outs pretty quick Andrelton Simmons hoping to get something. Gets a walk. That is something. Again, though, playing with fire with these little 2-out stretches. And now Jason Guzman got to try and make something out of it. We do get another walk, so we got 2 men on here. Jaron Ely up. We know how big he can come up in these games, and he's done it again. Can you believe it, Jerry and Ely? We have a decision to make here. I think with us 2 down, bases loaded, Zhao's going to be up next. I think we don't risk it. That may end up being a very dumb move, but yeah, that's all I got. Zhang Yizhao to face Xian Tuba. He gets it into center field, but he doesn't get it anywhere outside of the range of Derek Fisher. So regretting that decision a little bit. So Sheffield now to face Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez into center. That one is going to be a base hit. Sheffield just looks so bad. I'm going to have to get somebody warming up. Probably Brad Keller. Springer to short, to second, to first. That'll do it. And that is a 6-4-3 double play. And that is exactly what Sheffield needed at this stage of the game. Carlos Correa now to face the pitcher, and he's going to get struck out. So things looking a little better for him in that inning. They've gotten progressively better. So that does give me a little bit of confidence. Keller is now ready. I'm going to have to sit him down. Mazara Olivares Tellez, possibly the most dangerous part of our lineup here. Unfortunately, we are going to be without 1/3 of it as Mazara goes to center field. Edward Olivares now. He's going to strike out. And Rowdy Tellez gets this one into center field, but nothing dangerous. Derek Fisher should deal with that easily, and he does. All right, down 2-0. Sheffield back on the mound pretty quick. Cal Tucker, this one into left field, pretty deep, carrying very well. And that's going to be off the wall. Not dealt with well. He's going to get a triple. He's going to try and come home. This I have never seen. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. What have I just seen? What have I just seen? Unbelievable. I'm actually in shock. Wow. All right, Kyle Tucker puts Houston up 3-0. I don't really have anything else to say. I can't believe he got around the bases that quick. That was incredible. Jose Altuve, fly ball into left field. Hopefully this one can be dealt with, and it is. I'm still sorry. Wow. I cannot believe I just saw an inside the park home run. I've played so much of this game, and I've never seen an inside the park home run. Derek Fisher. He's going to get this one into right. I'm going to warm somebody up again. If I had done what I'd meant to do, I would have been bringing him in right now, but somebody scored an inside the park home run, so I don't know what you expect from me. Routine out for Ely. That brings it to 2. I think no matter what, this is kind of Justice Sheffield's last batter. Deep into right field and gone. And if that's where it ends, that is really unfortunate for us. Brad Keller to come in. He'll get the out, and we'll move on to the bottom of the 4th. Chapman, Murphy, Simmons once again. Chapman gets a walk on 4 pitches, and then Murphy comes up. Murphy, this one into right field. He is looking good for us. This one off the wall. Don't think it's going to be an inside the parker for him, but it looks like it might be a triple. That throw's not in time. We will get a run. So a triple and an inside the park home run in the same game. Pretty incredible stuff here. Andrelton Simmons now He's going to get this one a line out to third base. No, it's going to be an error, and he's going to move to second while Sean Murphy scores. And that is just what we needed to get us back into this game. A little bit of luck. And now Jason Guzman, unfortunately, doesn't look like the same mistake's going to be made twice. So first out of the inning does come in. But importantly, Simmons does move to third base for Jerry and Ely. And Ely looks like he did it again into left field. And Jerry and Ely has scored us another run, 5-3. We're back in this. Zhang Yizhao, Jerry and Ely at first, considering stealing him. Not going to do it just yet, though. And Zhang Yizhao, this one deep into center field, off the wall. Here comes Jerry and Ely. He really should have gone home, but he's going to hold at third with one out. And Zhao is going to be in at second. So no need to steal as we get the first to third. Double for Zhao. Mazzara up now. And he is going to ground out to the second baseman, but we're going to score a run off of it. This is a great inning for us. 4 runs scored, now just within 1 for Edward Olivares. Just takes one swing of the bat, and we could actually be in the lead here. Jambu at 75 pitches and now really struggling. Olivares, crack off the bat is good, but it is not going to be the hit that we needed. We do score 4 times, though, and that is really positive. Brad Keller now up to try and keep things close with Alvarez up. This one into center field. Looks like it's going to be dealt with by Ely. And it is. How many times you've heard me say that? George Springer now up. Correa behind him. And this one going to be dealt with by Matt Chapman. It looks like no, not quite. You would expect that because he's so good on defense, but doesn't quite get it. So Carlos Correa will be up. Could be a double play, though. So second to first, there we go. 4-6-3 double play. And that will do it for the inning in Houston. And now Kansas City moves up to bat. Tellez, Chapman, and Murphy. And there we go. Tellez gets his walk. Jambu is still in, surprising me a little bit as Chapman comes up. Chapman, this one almost into the gap. Looks like it might be a double play. No, thank goodness. Matt Chapman just barely gets in. So we keep a man on base. Unfortunately, we do have an out for Sean Murphy. Murphy going to pop this one up. And that is going to be the second out of the inning. Andrelton Simmons now to face Ryan Presley. Presley in for the second night in a row. Had a decent outing for him last time. Simmons, though, this time up the middle, keeps the inning alive. And all the way to third base. Are you kidding me, Matt Chapman? Look at the hustle on that guy. And Jason Guzman now up at the plate. If I had anybody to sub on for him on the bench, I would. But I don't, and unfortunately, he is going to fly out into left field unless there's an error. There is not. So, a couple of base runners, but no score for us. And this is a really even game at the moment. Feel like we deserve a little bit more out of it. As Keller faces Kyle Tucker, that one is not going to be able to be gotten to by Olivares. Olivares, of course, not amazing out in right field, but does the business more often than not. Gonna warm up Davey Mendez at this point of the game as we try to piece something together. Jose Altuve can't be caught. I really thought that it was, but unfortunately that was off of that kind of odd wall in Kauffman Stadium, and Altuve gets himself a double. And it's feeling a little bit like Keller needs to come out. Excuse me, Derek Fisher. Going to get a ground out, but they will get a run. So 1 out now, 1 on. And with Davey Mendez warming, I think we're just going to wait on him. Bregman going to get the ground out. Unfortunately, they will score from it again, which is pretty unfortunate. Now, Thomas Nido up. Keller has gotten the outs, but unfortunately put himself in a hole to begin the inning, and that does not look like a good throw, and it wasn't. It's just pretty poor from us, to be honest with you. Davey Mendez is ready to come in, and he will, to face Jeremiah Jackson, and he will strike him out. Don't necessarily think that those runs were all on Brad Keller, but he certainly wasn't helping his cause. Jerry and Ely now to face Presley. Ely smacks this one into center field. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a rather aimless ball, just placed in the wrong part of the park. Zhangyi Zhao to face Presley. He gets a walk. So 1 out, 1 on for Nomar Mazara at the plate. And I think that's going to be dealt with pretty easily by George Springer. And it is. Edward Olivares now trying to make anything out of this game. And unfortunately, he is not going to be the one to do it if it happens. At least not this inning as we move to the top of the 7th with that routine out. Davey Mendez now. Pretty good pitcher for us most times. Has to face Alvarez, Springer, and Correa, though. Definitely not an easy triplet, but he gets the first out. George Springer now. He strikes out. Mendez looking good. Facing Carlos Correa, strikes him out. Excellent work there from Davey Mendez. Does exactly what we needed. And Yuki Matsui comes in to face Rowdy Tellez. And Tellez is going to ground out to the second baseman. That's unfortunate. But Matt Chapman may be a chance to make something out of this. He will get a walk. And we know what happened last time. Sean Murphy unfortunately can't replicate it, and he is going to strike out. So 2 outs now. As Andrelton Simmons comes to the plate, that's not going to sneak in, I don't think. Pretty easily dealt with by Tucker. And we just can't quite seem to get enough traction in this game. Mendez on 21 pitches, and we need to get somebody warming behind him. We'll get Justin Lawrence. That is going to... what is happening with the ball there? That is it's an error as well. So that's not great. That's such a strange animation. I don't even know what to commentate because I legitimately have no idea what happened there. But Jose Altuve up to face Davey Mendez. He will strike out. 5 strikeouts tonight for Davey Mendez, doing some work for us. And just about keeping us in this game as he faces Derek Fisher. That looks like it's going to be caught, and it will. Zhao hustles in. 2 outs now, and probably time for Justin Lawrence to come in to face Alex Bregman. And he will do so. Bregman to the third baseman, Chapman to Tellez. That'll end the inning. And we just need to get something offensively here. Remember, Houston does have Aroldis Chapman, so that is going to be difficult to go up against. Guzman the first to come up against him. And he will get a walk, so good work by Jason Guzman. And now he is pretty valuable on the base pass with his speed. Jerry and Ely, he can't quite get something. This could be a double play, but Ely is too fast. Altuve was given a minor injury on the play. Zhao now to face Aroldis Chapman. And I think that was a wild pitch. It almost looked like it was an intentional walk sort of scenario, but no. Wild pitch for Aroldis Chapman moves Ely over. Zhao now with a chance to bring some runs in, and he is going to do so. That into left field, and a double for him. Ely easily in. Zhao slides 7-5 now, but the gap a little bit closer, and we have shown that Aroldis Chapman is beatable. Nomar Mazara now to face. Mazara, just can't quite get it past Altuve. So 2 outs now for us with a man on second. Edward Olivares has not gotten anything of this game so far, and that continues. He strikes out. Not a good game for him so far, unfortunately, as we reach the top of the 9th inning and what could be our final inning this season. And it starts off all right. Justin Lawrence gets the strikeout. Jeremiah Jackson now up at the plate, and he is going to fly out to Rowdy Tellez. Yordan Alvarez now up. If we can keep this close, we have a chance, and we are going to have that. Jason Guzman to Tellez to end the inning, and we move to the bottom of the 9th. it is crunch time. Let me quickly look at my substitutions to make sure there's nobody that I would like to bring in. So worst case scenario, we can bring in Bomb for somebody. I don't know who, but we can bring him in for possibly Tellez, actually. Tellez is not at a good game. Maybe further down the lineup, though, because we are going to need 2 runs. It's difficult to say. Definitely don't really want to bring him in for Chapman, because Chapman's had a decent game. I think we're going to let Tellez face. That may be a mistake. Definitely doesn't look like it was a good idea, as he grounds out to first. 102, that last pitch from Chapman, by the way. And now we have some Chapman on Chapman action. I think I'm going to leave him. He does get a walk, as he has a couple times this game. So, Matt Chapman on base, Sean Murphy, Aroldis Chapman out, Blake Trinan in. Doesn't make things really that much easier, but at least we're not facing 102 heat. Need to get something here from Sean Murphy. He's been so clutch. Oh, it looks like he's going to get a double play. That's going to do it. Oh, that's so painful. And that is so unfortunate. As Houston celebrates, they'll go to the World Series. We, unfortunately, will not. And that really pains me. What a great season from us. I know it's been a while. But we really did have a great season. 98 and 64. And if we look at the history of the Kansas City Royals, we were right up there with some of the best ever. And unfortunately, just couldn't quite get all the way to the World Series. So if you guys want a next episode, make sure to hit the like on this one. I'm sorry that we couldn't bring it home for you guys, but I have really enjoyed being back in this. I'm sorry it was such a long break, but I couldn't bring my computer with me to school, and I probably wouldn't have had the time anyway, so I just decided to take a break, and now I am back for at least winter break. So if you want to see this series continue, leave a like, leave a comment. Just let me know that you're into it. I know I had a couple of people message to me during the semester that they wanted it back. Here it is. Hopefully this will continue for at least a little bit. Or I'm also open to starting something new. I have a couple of things that I want to do over the summer, but there's no reason that I can't start some of those now. I've been playing some other games as well, some other strategies type stuff, like Slay the Spire and some Football Manager 19. So if you'd like to see any of that, again, leave a comment, message me on the discussion part of my page. And for now, guys, though, just thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad to be back. You guys are awesome. I hope you're having an excellent sort of winter break. And for now, that is going to be all for me. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.